Next slide. So basically then the other thing that happens is as we age, the thousands of mitochondrial DNAs in our cells accumulate mutations, and they then erode mitochondrial bioenergetics. So on the upper left, we have basically two graphs. One that on the left shows the, say, representation of the amount of energy output. And then over time, as mitochondrial DNA variation accumulates, we see an erosion of energy. And then different organs have different reliance on mitochondrial energy. The brain, being 2% of our body weight, uses 20% of all of our mitochondrial energy. So as our energetics declines, the first thing that is affected is the brain, followed by the heart, the muscle, the renal, and the endocrine system. And those are all the organs that are affected with aging. And to prove that, we made a mouse in which we took catalase, which is normally found in the peroxisome, and we took off the peroxisomal targeting signal and put on a mitochondrial targeting signal shown in yellow up on the upper right-hand corner, and made a transgenic mouse. And when we express that, catalase in the mitochondria, we remove all the mitochondrial hydrogen peroxide, the antioxidant defense, it's an antioxidant defense. And what that does is it increased the lifespan of the mice by 20%. And so what you can see on the lower left-hand corner is a young and old mouse, whereas the young mouse, the mitochondrial DNA is full length, whereas in the old mouse, we see accumulation of mitochondrial DNA deletions. And we see the same in humans, young and old, on the middle graph. And then on the right, what you can see is the mice with the high catalase in the mitochondria have about a 50% reduction in mitochondrial DNA damage. So thus we've linked then longevity with mitochondrial DNA decline. Next slide. So basically then in summary, one possibility is that if we put energetics in the middle of human biology, then oxidative phosphorylation can be affected by changes in the nuclear genome, by mutations or changes in the epigenome. It can be affected by mitochondrial variation, either in maternally inherited mutations or ancient polymorphisms. It can be affected by the diet we have, or whether we exercise or are exposed to toxins. And if you inhibit mitochondrial function, even partially, the first things that are going to be affected are the most energetically demanding organs. That's the brain, the heart, the muscle, and the renal systems. And those are all the ones that are first affected in aging. Also, if you inhibit mitochondrial function, you'll not be burning carbohydrates and fats, which are, of course, the substrates for oxidative phosphorylation, and they will accumulate. And then that's what we call metabolic syndrome, giving rise to cardiovascular disease and hypertension. And the mitochondria is a perfect bacterium. So if the energetics is affected, then apoptosis fails and the mitochondria are released in the bloodstream, and that activates then the whole inflammation process, the C-gas sting and the inflammasome pathways. And that's why all the common diseases have an inflammation component. And finally, as aging continues and energetics declines, ultimately all these organ systems begin to fail. And we believe that's an important component of aging. And finally, cancer is all about having enough energy for the cancer cell to grow. So with that, hopefully brief background, we can now hear from the really important contributions of our colleagues.